Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, I have with me a very special guest, Janis Thornton. She recently completed my 90-day Breakthrough to Empowerment program and has some amazing results and successes she wants to share with you. So, I am Dr. Shelley Nash. I'm a personal empowerment coach, and I help people break through what's holding them back and create the success they truly desire. My programs really help you on your path to empowerment, to go from becoming your empowered self to creating an empowered life. And so we're going to build a solid foundation with yourself and then expand into your unlimited potential. So today I have with me again Janis Thornton, and she's an online fitness trainer, and she's going to explain to you what that is. Her website is janisrthornton.com, and we'll post that below so you can get that correct. And I want to thank you so much, Janis, for your willingness to be on with me today, to share your story with others. And it's, your growth and your personal story, sometimes it's hard for us to be open enough to share that. So I really thank you. And what we want to find out basically is three things: where you were at before you started with me and what it was like working with me, and where you are right now. So the first thing is, tell us what life was like before you started coaching with me and why you sought out help from somebody like me, a coach that could help you get to the next level.
Well, first of all, I felt like I was spinning my wheels. I could be super busy doing things, however, not really getting anything done. And I would just feel like everyone asked me, how was your day? I was super busy today. And then I would look to be like, what did I get done? And I would kind of scratch my head going, not a whole lot, even though I quote unquote was busy doing stuff. But I just never, that busyness, I would get frustrated because I felt like I wasn't getting where I wanted to be with my business. And so when I was talking with Shelley, it was, and I'm going to tell you, if you're on the fence about if you should work with somebody for personal growth, I will tell you, just do it. And here's why. I was that person who really didn't think I needed any kind of improvement, that I was, I pretty much had my SHIT together. And why would I need that? I mean, I did pharmaceutical sales for 14 years. I have a master's degree in exercise physiology. Why on earth would I need help? But then again, I look at my business and going, I am not seeing the results that I want to see in my business. So therefore, maybe I actually do need to pull in a coach. Because like Shelley said, I'm an online fitness trainer. I help people with their exercise. And a lot of people need help with their exercise coaching, hence why you want to hire an exercise coach. But it's the same when it comes to personal development or your business. You want some kind of coach to help you, because Shelley really helped me see things that I never saw within myself.
Awesome. So what was it like actually working through the program? There's several modules that you work through, and how did you do with that?
Some were definitely challenging. There's no question, because you definitely ask questions that make you think. You pulled out some gremlins that were in me. And is that always the most fun? No, it's not. However, when you can address those gremlins, or for myself, when I could address those gremlins, that's when I would have the biggest breakthroughs, is when we could really talk through some things. And there's stuff, Shelley would be like, Janis, you're so resistant right now. Why are you being so resistant? But it was perfect, because she would make me, really pull out those things that I needed to pull out in order for me to break through an inner block. And it's truly helped my business. It's helped the way that I approach people. It's helped me just in the way I think about myself and my life, and that I'm so grateful for.
So what was the, so where would you say you're at now since you completed the program? I know you completed it a little bit ago, but so you've had some time to experience, some benefits from the program. What's it like now for you?
Well, I feel like now I have a whole lot more confidence in myself. So when I'm meeting with people, that when we talk about my business, I can confidently talk to them about my business. And then it's it's just exciting that I feel like I have the confidence. Now, for example, though, I will say I was talking to this lady the other day, and it was a horrible conversation because she was trying to coach me on some social media stuff, which is fine. I'm coachable on that stuff. However, she was just like chewing my butt out. And I felt so crappy after the call. And it's like, go back, pull out my notes to find out why I allowed her to control that conversation like I did. But then go back and do what Shelly taught me, write positive affirmations based around that phone call, and that I really am great. I am amazing. And get past and learn to get past when you have that negative conversation with somebody. I was able to do that and then be like, okay, really, I am awesome, because this is what Shelly has taught me to do with myself, is when I get into a negative situation to, okay, let's write it out and turn it into positive stuff. Thanks.
Yeah, it's great that you recognize that. That's often, some of the things, it's like we never really arrive. We're always working on ourselves, and so sometimes, we do get triggered by other people and we go into that self-doubt again, and it gets triggered and it comes right up for us. And so the beauty about having worked through a program, something like this, is that you immediately recognize, oh, that's not really true. That was a trigger. And so I can work through that because that's not true about myself. And it's not true. It's just that it's feeling a little bit true right now. But, so by doing the repetition of affirmations and really saying what is true about yourself, then you can kind of rework that. Because that's the way that we have to work with the subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind, the patterns in the subconscious mind are very strong. And in order to change them, you have to be diligent at catching when you're sort of off track, and then replacing those false ideas with true ideas. So what would you say would be the top three biggest things that you got out of the program?
So the first one for me was the I am statements, learning the I am statements, putting them into my phone. To this day, I still get my reminders that have my I am statements on there, and then I update them as I need to. But just developing those, because I had not ever really heard of that before, and how powerful that they are. So that was my number one thing, and probably one of the most powerful things, because self-doubt was probably one of my biggest issues, besides a couple other things, but those I am statements really help. And then like I just said, being able to turn negatives around and stop dwelling on them. I am that person who will dwell on stuff forever. And now I don't do that. And one of the examples was that boss I had at the pharmacy I worked at. And it was just always such a negative situation. And you and I were able to take one of the lessons and base it around that boss I had. But I was able to literally within one day write out all the stuff you had me write out. And then I woke up the next day realizing throughout the day, I'm like, oh my God, I realized I wasn't even thinking about that boss. And I would think about him every day. I mean, every day he consumed I don't want to say consumed, but he was in my thoughts in a negative way, almost on a daily basis. And then all of a sudden I could feel a physical shift in my mind and in my body. So that was great. And then working with you, you just helped me get to the root cause of everything, of the issues that I was having. You helped me get to the root cause. And I think some things I didn't even realize what the root cause was, but we were able to go back together and figure it out what it was. So yeah, those are my top three.
That is great. And I love how you did the affirmations. You really took a hold of the affirmations and put them on your phone, and so that the reminders come up on an hourly basis, of what is true for you and where you're going. So those are very, very powerful. Letting go of the past was an incredible lesson for you, and actually letting go of people, like this thing that bothered you.
Yeah.
Um, it's something that I teach people now is, are you reacting or are you responding to situations? And the reacting, like when you have an initial reaction to something that's immediately happening, then in that reaction, you sort of are letting go of your control and you're giving control to the other person. But when you respond to situations, you're in charge and you're in control and you're able to, like a situation happens that bothers you, you're able to say, step back and think, and how do I want to respond to this so that I am in control? So it's a similar kind of thing. So in a way, you were working with your mind. That person was, what do they say, taking up space in your mind. He was living rent free in your mind. So you needed to kick him out.
I did.
You needed to take charge of what's going on in your mind again, because what you think is what you create, and that's another aspect of what I teach. And then the other part, I love what you said, is the root cause, because that's my favorite too. As a chiropractor, we always talk about getting to the source, the root cause of problems, rather than treating symptoms, which is a form of profession. That's what the pharmaceutical industry does, is treat symptoms. And so really what we do is go, well, you're having a lot of symptoms, but what originally caused that? What was some of the original thought patterns that are running you, that keep causing those problems? So it's sort of like going to the plant and pulling out the roots and then planting a new plant and watering the new plant. So I love your top 3 reasons. We worked a lot on mindset. And getting through limiting beliefs and inner blocks. And we just kind of talked about that, those inner gremlins. Mindset is really kind of, what you're holding, what thoughts you're holding in your mind, whether they're a positive thought or a thought that may not be serving you. So how was that kind of going in and digging in and finding those inner blocks and those limiting beliefs and working through them?
I'm going to tell you, okay, it wasn't easy. And
Yep.
there were times I would be quite resistant. However, I truly realized that if I wanted to see change, I had to address the gremlins. I had to. And if you're willing to do that, you're going to see great success. If you continue to stay resistant with Shelly, she will keep working so that you're not. Because there were some gremlins that I didn't want to let go of. And you just kept going with me and working with me. And we worked through it, which I'm very grateful for, because now I'm just in a much better place. So, ladies and gentlemen out there, allow her to help you. That's all I can say. And when she tells you you're being resistant, she's right, and you just need to listen, because she will. It's a great thing when you release it. It's a great thing.
Well, and the thing is, we all have these habitual thought patterns. We call them paradigms. We have some of the paradigms serve us and some don't serve us. And so it's a multitude of habitual thought patterns that run us, basically. And so we need to decide to take control of them. And so they're really strong. And it's like they don't want you to look at it. They don't want change. They want everything to stay the status quo. So So the resistance isn't necessarily you. The resistance is your programs or your paradigms, because they don't want to change. They like it the way it is. So you're kind of rocking the boat for them. So that's why, so I know that I can move you along, because I know that when you signed up with me, you wanted to move through that stuff. And this is just, the resistance is just those programs that are really strong, that are like, ugh. And sometimes, it's hard to look at. Something that might cause a certain emotion or feeling.
Right.
So what are you doing now as a result of going through the program?
Well, I continue to work. I mean, really just, I continue to work on my personal training business. I now have a hair care business as well. And what I love about the program is the fact that I can take those lessons that I've learned. And when I get kind of stuck, I can go back and look at my notes and get myself unstuck. And so that way I can keep continuing on with my different businesses. And I also continue, I have a little note here. I continue with my reminders of my I am statements on my phone because I do think they're so important.
Yeah.
And again, creating new ones for the current situation. Like, for example, I recently took a few off because I'm like, okay, I've got that one down. And so, but it's like create new ones to kind of take the places of that. So
that's a really good idea because as you grow, it's kind of like, think of it as a spiral. So you're growing up a spiral, and so as you're going to new levels, new doubts or new things, might be hitting new, what we call them, terror barriers, like new levels of a place that you've never been before. So you have a new fear that didn't come up before. So then you might need a slightly different affirmation to handle that terror barrier so you can get through it. So that's a really good that you keep continuing to do that.
Yep.
So what would you say to people that are seeing this and considering the program? Was it worth the investment you made and the investment in time and money that you made in yourself to go through this?
So the word is absolutely, it was worth the time and money that I spent. If, like I said earlier, if you're on the fence thinking about this and you're not happy where you currently are, guess what? You're going to stay where you currently are. So if you want to move forward, then you need to work with Shelly for sure, regardless. And she will be able to take you to that next level. Because one of the worst things you can do is, if you're not happy where you are, is to be stuck there. So for me, it was definitely worth it. Again, I wasn't that big into personal development, but now I do personal development on different types of levels. And I would say definitely jump on in, because you will be so glad that you did when you're all finished. And even during the process, I mean, every week that I spoke with Shelly, or every other week that I spoke with Shelly, I could see progress all the time. And that's what you're going to be looking for. As long as you put in the time and the effort, it will be worth every penny of it.
Yeah, and I just to add is that I've had other people say the investment, like, people sometimes aren't used to investing in themselves.
Yeah.
I think I would consider it something like investing in school or investing in continuing education. Just invest in your continued learning. And my previous client had said, you already said this, you take this with you for the rest of your life. So what you spend on your personal investment into yourself, you gain exponentially as you go through the rest of your life. So it's really awesome. Thank you so much for working with me. And so if you're out there listening to this and you're looking for some similar results, looking to break through and really get some self-empowerment, you can go to my website, which is drshellynash.com. And we'll also post that below. And then on my website, you click, yes, I am ready. And you can have a free one-on-one discovery session with me. We'll talk about where you're at. We'll talk about your goals, what you're trying to achieve, and see what would be the best fit for you. So I'm super glad to see you, Janis. You no longer live close to me, so I get to see you in this format. And I'm happy that you were able to inform these lovely people about your journey and your story, and you're getting so many great results in your life as a result. I look for many more great results from you as you continue on in your life. Anything else you want to
add? Again, if you are sitting on the fence, just get off it and join Shelly. It's that plain and simple. Just do it. Be like Nike. Just do it.
So anyway, we'll see you all on the next interview, and have a fabulous day.
Bye.
Bye.